If giant swords, massive monsters and fast-paced combat is what you look for in a game, then I have just the game for you. What's up everyone, it's Ridehouse, and today I am taking a look at Project Eve. Project Eve is the upcoming sci-fi action game from Korean developer Shift Up. And when it was first announced, most assumed it would eventually get an official title. But unlike Project Athia, which was later renamed to Forspoken, Project Eve is yet to receive a new name, despite producer Jackie Lee informing the press that there has been a lot of progress on the title. At this point, it seems like they might just be planning to stick with what they've already got. Project Eve has been making waves recently with a bit of controversy surrounding the design of the main character and her jiggly bits. People have also been talking about the controversial naming of the game's enemies that are called natives, which you will be massacring throughout the game, with people saying that this is insensitive to the persecution of native cultures throughout history. I won't be talking about any of these points, as I would rather leave that to better informed and more articulate people. Instead, I'll be looking at the gameplay and the overall world of Project Eve. So with all of that out the way, let's get into it. The game is set in the not too distant future and sees the player take on the role of Eve, a survivor of a paratrooper squad that was sent from the colony, which I assume is where all the remaining humans now live, after having lost the Earth to an army of invaders called, as I said earlier, the Natives. Bouncy bits aside, there are some interesting things to note about Eve. One of them being that she seems to have some sort of cybernetic augmentations, judging by the glowing power core type things on her back. Another thing I noticed is that she seems to have her face plastered on some of the posters and screens around the world, so she might be some sort of android or genetically engineered clone or something. As seems to be pretty common these days, Eve will also be joined by a little robot companion who will accompany her on her journey. The invaders also have some pretty interesting designs, including small little squid monsters, squid-headed humanoids, some kind of lizard mixed with a chainsaw, a ring-headed thing, and a space station guzzling starfish. From the looks of the footage, it also seems as though some of the enemies have fused with tech to make some sort of hybrid alien robot things. There is certainly a lot of variety to be found, and I am interested to find out what other crazy creatures they've come up with that they haven't shown us yet. Combat is action based and supposedly pretty hard. You can attack, defend, parry and evade, and all of these are intended to feel fluid and energetic. The only way to take down enemies is to learn their individual attack patterns and behaviours in order to launch your counterattack, which to me sounds like I'll be dying a hell of a lot. You will be able to weave together combos, and by parrying and evading, you will build what is called a beta gorge, or BG, which will allow you to use special skills and finishing moves. BG skills include things like being able to pierce super armor, whatever that is, execute big sweeping attacks, interrupt enemy combos, and more. When you take down an enemy, you will get to witness a spectacular display of power by Eve, which seems to involve quick-time events of some sort, where the player pushes buttons at the right time during animations, something we've all seen before. In addition to this, Eve also has a burst gorge, which accumulates with successive parries and combos, and this can be used to activate buffs and other powerful attacks like a leaping stab. Apparently there will be different weapons available, however just how much variation will be found here remains to be seen. In the footage so far, Eve seems to wield mainly swords, so I assume that the weapons will be mostly based around this, and the variations will mostly be found in terms of speed and power. There do seem to be some different effects attached to some weapons though, such as where some weapons are just a basic sword, others have what appear to be some sort of red lightning attached. As far as armour is concerned, they have mentioned that you'll be able to find different outfits scattered around the world, which will allow you to change the appearance of Eve, so from the sounds of it, these will be purely cosmetic and won't serve any additional purpose. As I have already mentioned, the world is a post-apocalyptic Earth, set in the not too distant future. They're saying that the world will have unprecedented vibes that stand out from other post-apocalyptic worlds. And from what we've seen so far, it does seem like a pretty interesting place to explore, but I have yet to see something that I would class as having an unprecedented vibe. So far, we've seen a few locations, including a subway, some streets, a desert of some sort, a city, and some place full of cargo containers. To get about and explore, you'll be able to climb as well as slide tactically, which reminds me of something from an old arcade game, or one of those newer Sonics that my son's always playing. I think the game looks great visually, and the locations all seem to have a good amount of detail to them. The combat and animations have some nice effects, and the finishing moves seem like they'll be pretty fun to experience. I have to say that I do like the look of the HUD, and I hope that they don't change it too much before release. It's very clean and minimalist in design, and seems to tell you all you need to know without getting in the way of the game. Overall, Project Eve seems to be coming together quite nicely, and now that we have had a better look at the combat, I think it looks as though it might be quite fun with all the different combos and gorges that let you fire off special attacks. They say they intend it to be quite difficult, so you can be sure to expect a challenge, and if you're anything like me, you'll be pulling your hair out for weeks. They have mentioned the ability to explore environments, but it remains to be seen just how freely we will be able to do this. However, the tactical sliding looks like it could be pretty fun, but I'm not sure how often I would really want to do it before it got old. There is no set release date yet for Project Eve, as they are still pretty early in development, but it has been announced that the game will be coming to the PS5, though it was originally announced for the Xbox and PC as well, so hopefully we'll hear some more on this soon. That's just about all I have on Project Eve for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, please give it a like if you did, and as always let me know your thoughts on the game down in the comments. That's all from me on this one, see you in the next one.